in the semi-finals for the loss of only one rack. Copigny has played one more match than that because he wasn't seeded. He wasn't impressive first up against his brother. Since, he's been mightily impressive.
Yeah, I agree, Phil. And maybe the worst stroke of the event in the lag there for Josh, and that does happen. But this first break, and I think we'll see both the players break from the left side rail, their left side rail, and two different breaks, though, I think. Josh with the firm cut break, and Ko, who's mainly hit the ball square. He's had some where he's drawn the ball back to the end rail and up, but he's got to have a good start just because Filler's there to take the title. Interesting shot to start here. It is a cuttable one ball, even though it is super thin. But definitely a shot for these guys. But who knows if he goes for it. The safety's pretty difficult.
Yes, and the 7 is undoubtedly hindering.
Yeah, if he goes for the cut, really the 7's not too bad because he'll be aiming towards the left edge of the 1. If it's off the right side, that's where cueing is really funny, trying to run the cue ball behind the 2 and 9. You know, the break and runs and the great shots are so important, but these shots right here can really make the difference. Oh, he's overhit this. He's going to need some help from the 1 ball. Now, Josh certainly doesn't want to have to play for a 2-9 combo, but it could be a little risky trying to play position on the 2. So if it makes sense for the combo, that's when you'll attack. Looks like he's going to try and pull the ball tight 2 rails between the 4 and 2. Looks a little light. Now, does he have a chance? Position isn't very likely, but does he have a chance to go for both balls here, cutting the 2 in the right corner and kind of cannoning into the 9? Now, this shot he could go for the combo and try and play the cue ball maybe 1, 2, 3 rails up behind the 6 and the 3. Risky shot.
Extension, please.
The good thing from here, from this angle, though, is you don't expect the 9 to hang if he does miss it. So he could play a lot of cue ball here, trying to possibly get a bonus with an early combo.
Affording the shot maximum attention, taking his extension early, just 10 seconds left.
Looks like he's playing safe behind the 9 to me. We're going to see our first look at the jump cue. And Ko, I've always thought Copigny was one of the best with the jump cue. He's going to try and not make this, but cut it to the right by the 3. Now, he had a similar shot. I believe it was his first match where he kind of overhit it a little bit. Maybe the nerves. But he wants to bang the 2 around and play the cue back underneath the 6-3, I believe. 2 might be tracking towards the 9 a little bit. You just got to realize the ball gets up easy. Uh-oh, this may leave an early one. Well, may have gotten awkward. This is super thin, it looks like. The kiss shot's not on, and he's 8 feet away. Decisions. Now, the one thing on a shot like this, unless you're trying to play safe, you wouldn't want to add spin to the cue ball, so watch out for the pace on the cue ball and where it's going. bit fortunate with the result there. Now he may kick behind this and knock it up table. Kick behind this with a high ball. Oh, it's too close. It's not available. The 9's a little above the pocket to really be going after it. This is difficult. He did kick behind it and overhit it by some mark.
So a somewhat clumsy safety shot on the 1 ball a little earlier, and now the same thing applies to the 2 ball. Joshua Filler normally doesn't need more than 1 invitation to win a rack, let alone 2.
Wow. So the 4-inch pockets kind of rear their teeth a little bit. And now, tell you what, after a little bit of a shaky start on a couple of difficult little safety plays, he can kind of shake that off. And I wouldn't say he's played as well as Filler. Nobody probably has, but it's his first match. Ko Ping-yi has really picked up the pace. Okay, funny little situation here. Can he easily get on the 4-9? If he has to track the cue ball for the 4, it may be a little bit of a funny shot. We'll see. All right, he's playing the combo.
Ko Ping-yi wins the first round.
2 chances went by the wayside for Joshua Filler, who so far in this tournament has been mustard, not in that rack. First blood is drawn by Ko Ping-yi. The 9 ball was so close to the pocket, but you've still got to give them full attention. So Ko Ping-yi, great to see him back playing internationally again. The Chinese type players were kept away from the action by the COVID-19 pandemic, but now they are here. They're heavily involved, and anytime they turn up, they are a major threat. He's known as the Prince of Pool. He's 17th in the 9-ball ranking at the moment, but we know he's got potential for significant improvement. In the quarterfinals, he beat Max Lechner 7-2. And he started off the tournament...
Rack 2, Ko Ping-yi to break, leading 1 rack to 0.
With a rather strange assignment, taking on his younger brother, Ko Ping-chung, who is in the crowd, as you might imagine.
Well, if my memory serves me correctly, there were 4 Asian players in the event. Well, 5 with Yap, excuse me, and they got 2 to the semis. That's the break maybe he's looking for more of. And I'm not sure if we can get this stat, but I don't know if anyone's pocketed more balls on the break this event than Ko Ping-yi. Had a few matches where he put 3 balls like 3 times, and here he's pocketed 4. When you talk about a roadmap, you bring that up at times. It's just all about this first shot, Phil. And really, it's not much of a first shot either. I think he can hold his ball pretty easily. Let's stay off the rail with the cue ball. That's the only way this shot could get a little bit funny. It's got to elevate. It's a little shy of the mark. I'm not sure if he can just feather this in and hold for the 8. He may have to go long rail down to the bottom rail with some inside spin. We'll see. Looks like he can just roll it.
Coping Yi
You
wins the
know,
rack.
in this company, errors can compound. Joshua Filler wasted a couple of chances in the first rack, and now in the second he just sat down and watched his opponent go to work. Coping Yi 2-0 ahead, a man who's really enjoyed his week here in Gibraltar.
I'm very happy now because if I win 2 more games, I can be a champion. Before, I never win this title, so I very want to win. I'm very nervous now because my next round, my opponent is Joshua Filler. He's very strong player. I think it's very tough match. He's very strong player, but I hope I can play well and for everyone. I hope my opponent is myself.
Coping Yi, what a career record. He's still only 32 years of age. He's done so much, but he's
Rack 3. Coping Yi to break, leading 2 racks to 0.
trying to break another barrier this evening by lifting a title that so far eluded him. And there is the younger brother, Ko Ping Chung, watching on, support.
Yeah, and he seems a bit nervous himself with his brother, and that's a pretty natural thing in this spot. Oh, he's not bad, I'll tell you that. He's going to end up with a thin cut on the 2. He's going to have to work the cue ball kind of nicely here. I wonder what decision he makes. Okay, so he's going to take on the thin shot with spin, which I watched Coping Yi practice a lot. You really get to find out some things about the guys on the practice table as well, and he practices this shot a lot. Really shoots it in with a nice rhythm on the stroke. Just a touch of outside English. Yeah, when we talked about it a couple days ago, Phil, the better the stroke is, the bigger the pocket becomes. And we saw it right there. When timing's good, they become a little more generous.
After coming through that psychologically difficult first match against his brother, Coping Yi has been notable for very good starts. Next time out against David Al-Qaidi, twice a winner of this tournament. He led 5-0 and ran racks 2, 3, 4 and 5 there. And then against Max Lechner, he went 3-0 up, breaking and running the first 3 racks in that one. So no surprise he's quickly out of the gate here.
I mean, he's got a decision here. Do I just float this in with a little inside, or do I come around the 9? Oh, he had it a little heavy, so it's going to cost him a little bit of travel on the cue ball. Wanted at least a foot or a foot and a half more. So I don't fear missing the ball here. None of these guys, of course, but now speed on the cue ball so crucial.
It is a simply stunning scene on the headland, on the southern tip of Europe. You will find Gibraltar, and specifically you will find the Europa Point Sports Complex, right where the sea meets the sky. The weather here this week has been simply peerless. It's been wonderful every single day, sun shining and wonderful views across the water to North Africa. Indoors has been equally stunning. We're down to the semi-finals. Ko Pin-Yi has taken a 3-0 lead over Joshua Filler, who already may be regretting a couple of mistakes in the opening rack, including a missed 2-ball he would normally gobble up.
Stroke. Ball in hand.
JJ, not recommended.
No.
Start the clock, please.
A bit unlucky. I don't think the cue ball was going to scratch. He got it past the side. I mean, it was kind of leaning that way, but you could tell redirected it just enough. And I was going to say, you know, there's several players, or there were several players in the event. There's still a few left, of course, that it doesn't take but really one opportunity to make up almost any deficit in this race to 7, but this is certainly kind of the guy so far that can make it up quickly.
Yeah, that's one thing you've got to love about the winner breaks format. No match is safe, certainly of this length. Any of these world-class players can get on a roll and erase any deficit. Joshua Filler is on the board, and he could be on a roll. He can win any kind of way, can Filler. He's won from the front in his first 2 matches. He could pull off a comeback here. He's full of beans.
I feel great, but obviously I'm just halfway through of the tournament, to be fair. I mean, I'm playing good, but I'm still 2 matches left. But I have to go 1 match at a time. Last year I was in the semis too, and I really messed it up. I had so many opportunities against Shane, and I didn't really took them. So I'm just happy and thankful that I'm in the semi-finals and I get another chance. Ko Pin-Yi. I always like watching him because he's one of the biggest players we have in pool. In 1 year he won the World Cup of Pool, 10 ball and World Line Ball. And this shows how great he is. So I'm just happy that he's back on the tour, to play against him again and then go and enjoy it. To be in the semis again, it's great already. But obviously I'm fighting for the win.
Rack 5.
Yeah,
Joshua Filler to break.
We can see Josh maturing on the pool table, and then I think as well away from the pool table. All right, the one caught the point. That happened to him a couple times in his previous matches, and it doesn't always work out. And he's going to find a very difficult rollout situation because he's facing a man again that doesn't win all those titles without having pretty much the game. Safety side, he's missed a couple safeties, so of course Josh won't roll out to an offensive situation at all. He certainly wouldn't get it back. I may pocket the 3 here, leaving the cue ball just up in that corner, and that is a bit of a challenge on the 1, but nothing that you're going to see Ko shoot at. And I think Ko Pin-Yi's got to shoot at this. This is just execution, shooting pretty much fully on the 1, letting it bank to the right side of the 9, up towards the 2, and just follow the ball. You're not going to follow it up on the back of the 9, but you're going to try and use the 8-9. You certainly can't pass this. I don't think I see really any other shot. I mean, It looks like to me other things could leave a jump, and could certainly leave an opening. Is he thinking about banking the one by the pink a little bit, trying to kill the cue ball on the back of the 8? Looks like that's how he's aiming. Yeah, he's going to catch the 4, and maybe in a good manner. I think he's cut him off a piece of it, maybe not. Three ball does help in a few ways, pocketing the 1 if he can get at it, but it also kind of closes the pocket off as well. If he catches the 3 going in, it most likely the 1 doesn't fall. It's certainly cross corner the 1.
Extension, please.
He's going to go for the jump shot. This is a little surprising. Not terribly. I mean, the 3 does offer a little bit of friendliness, trying to pocket the 1, but he definitely has a cross corner bank that offers a two-way shot as well, with a little backdoor safety behind the 8 and 9.
Gasps from the crowd when the 1 ball stayed on the table, but that was high tariff, and in the end the outcome could have been an awfully lot more expensive.
Yeah, he caught a lot of the 3 there, but he really needed to drive the 1 into the cushion and then off the 3. He can bury him behind that 3 ball right here. He can tuck him underneath the 2 as well. I don't think I go down table with the cue ball. Maybe behind the 8 and 9, but I really like this right here. He wanted the cue ball up another inch to cut off that top rail. Now he's going to try and come 2 rails. He can hit the 1 a lot of ways to kind of bleed the cue ball over behind the pink 4 and the 2. Key to this is like a medium speed. You don't want a ton of speed on the cue ball when it comes off the 1. Expect him to get this one. It's going to get maybe on the 4. It's going to leak. Great effort though. He went down playing the correct shot, and that's all you can do.
Extension, please.
Just a reminder, it's a 30-second shot clock, and in each rack both players are extended the luxury of 1 30-second extension.
I was about to say, I don't know if I ease this hole for thin 2 in the side. I might go up and down. Just makes the 1 ball for these guys and the way they're playing it. I wouldn't say a hanger, but it definitely makes them 8 out of 10 at least. Just don't let up. 2 rails to the center of the table. Yeah, I think that was the right play. It may not work out. We'll see. Oh my, it's going to keep going. Wow. Not sure he deserved that.
Well, as the cue ball was coming back down the table, I honestly thought he was going to make some form of contact with the 8 ball, but it was as though the cue ball just veered off slightly, and that's why the frustrating gesticulation from Copigny. He realizes that was the case.
You got to go with the swerve shot here. He's trying to get the 2 either in or behind the 3. Good effort.
Well, Filler missed a 2 ball to this pocket in the opening rack. He's not going to miss this one.
No, and I wonder, he's got to get a lot of spin at a slow speed to get by the 3. And he got by it pretty easily. Thought the 2 was a little closer to that top rail. Seems to me maybe the rails have livened up just a touch. That ball really kind of came pretty good off that first and second rail.
He's such a reliable potter, isn't he? So decisive.
Joshua Fuller wins
The
the
gap closes. Joshua Fuller, who purely on form alone has been the player of the tournament thus far, is now only one adrift. Ko Pin-Yee's lead reduced to 3-2. These are the stats for Joshua Fuller in the tournament. Look at that, 43% break and run out. Really good. Pot success rate, and this is over the 3 matches he's played, 96%. He's had 1 golden break. Doesn't really need them. He's so good, Jeremy.
Yeah, well, that top stat at Rack's played, he's only played 2 matches so far, so that's 14 games. Now 2 games in this match. He's won 16 out of 18 games. Well, I guess that math may not add up since Ko, but he's won a lot. I know that.
You were nearly, Jeremy. He's won 16 racks out of 19.
19. Yeah, I was going to say if Ko has 3, it has to be
Rack
at least 16 out of
Joshua Fuller to
19.
break, trailing by 3 racks to 2.
All right, wants the 1 to get past the side. A bunch of kisses. Another one. Wow.
I'm just going to get this maths absolutely right. He's won 16 out of 20.
Okay.
Because he lost 1.
Well, 80% clip is pretty good.
Yeah, before this. So 16 out of 20. We'll get it right in the end, folks.
Well, you kind of wonder how that cue ball wasn't kissed in and faced with a very difficult rollout situation. Now, would you bump the 5 away a little bit, away from the pocket, and open up the cue ball in like a long straight-in 3 ball here? If you do that, you have to move the 5 over to the middle of the end rail a bit. You can't leave the 5 near. If he rolls out down table, he's certainly not going to get it back unless he rolls out to a kick, which I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah. So Ko's got to play one side or the other. He's going to look and see about using that big 7 ball up there. Yeah, I may nip the bottom side of this. I don't know. This is all about being at the table and seeing those little bitty differences in the angles that we can't quite see. Oh, he's looking at chopping the 3 down table, going back and forth, maybe behind the 8. Now it looks like he was going to come off the top side of the 3. And here you have to come across it thick. So he may double bank the 3, we'll see, to the bottom rail. Oh, he played that first shot I was talking about, and he's lost the rock. And I'm gotta be honest, I wasn't in love with that play just because if you don't get the snooker, you're putting the 3 near that 5 ball, which is a very makeable shot on some type of kiss or combo.
That last shot from Ko Pin-Yee, literally a head scratcher.
Well, what happens is this guy following you, right? It makes you feel like you really have to lay everything down perfectly, and you got to forget about that because Josh is going to do what Josh does, and you ain't slowing him down. You just got to play percentages, and if he comes with it, he comes with it. but trying to be precise on shots, especially safeties, when you know Josh is coming to the table, it can really kind of hamper your accuracy. It's going to say overcut it, so that usually means a little bit of a hot cue ball. Very fortunate to a roll he got in the last, bumping the 5 ball. And he had to use the bridge. Here, I think the extension is okay.
Filler visibly annoyed with himself that he was a little loose with that positional shot. Fortune was on his side. It is a couple of hat-tricks so far we've seen in this semi-final. The first 3 racks for Ko Pin-Yi.
Thank you. Rack 7. Joshua Filler to break. 3 racks each.
Brendan Moore, our vastly experienced referee, announces the start of rack 7. We anticipated this match would be keenly contested. Exactly that. Now that is the kind of break-off that Filler was looking for. Ball in, 1 on, 2 in the open. Hey presto.
Yeah, the one caught that up on the side pocket again, but didn't hurt him this time. The cue ball kind of got slowed down. Looked like it was heading towards the top rail, and now he's got to just have a nice draw stroke. Come back for the side pocket, and these all kind of work towards each other. 3 near the side, the 4 near, the 5 leads towards the 7 up table. Should take his first lead. Ooh, almost caught that 5 ball. I don't know how close that was, but it was very close. Okay, another little draw stroke should give him a perfect angle.
When he secured his first rack, both Jeremy and I said that he's capable of going on quite some dare. Here he is, 2 balls away from 4 racks in succession.
Extension, please.
And it doesn't have to happen ever, right? You have to get a little bit of fortune at times to continue to get shots, but he's done it already in a match or 2, so it's already feeling it, you might say.
Joshua Fuller wins the rack.
In his interview a little earlier, he was mentioning the fact that he was hugely exasperated when he lost to Shane Van Boening in the semi-finals of this event last year. He lost 7-6. He wants to make amends for that and indeed go all the way. Joshua Fuller last year in this tournament, he was fighting all the way. This time, it's been relatively plain sailing until this match. There's his wife on the left-hand side, Pia Fuller.
We're about to break.
Rack 8.
In rack
Joshua
number
Fuller
8.
to break, leading 4 racks to 3.
All right, he's made the 1. He's going to get a shot on the 2. Balls didn't seem to open quite as well as they've been. Actually missed the wing ball, that being the... So good thing he pocketed the 1. Nice shot there. Had a really nice natural path, but you still can't overlook anything with some distance. He's got to come down. Doesn't want to get too thin here. He can always play the 6 up long if needed. The 7 does pass the 8. So no reason to get silly thin on the 5. I think he can come 1 rail up. It looks like to me he doesn't want to do that, though. Doesn't want to flirt, right? With the side pocket maybe getting on top of the 6. I think it's okay either way if he wants to go on the left or right side of the 9. He decided to play it firm, and you'll notice he kind of intentionally made the ball hook a little bit. It's always neat when the guys mark the ball.
So assured. no shot is too much of a stretch. This is a stretch of a different kind.
Yeah, and he could use the bridge or righty, but most of the players really like the extensions these days.
It is 5 on the spin for Joshua Filler. Not easy to do, especially when you start the run 3-0 behind. Great stuff from the German. So Ko Pin-Yi finds himself in a spin. 2 racks from defeat. The start of the tournament didn't bode well. It wasn't auspicious for Ko Pin-Yi. He didn't play nicely in his first match against his brother, Ko Pin-Chung, but that was for obvious reasons. Since then, he's looked really good. Pot success rate, 94%, Jeremy, about right?
Yeah, that's right, and 50% break and run. So that stat alone in a winter break format can make up for some mistakes. And that's what he's going to have to do if he gets a chance here in the semifinal. A little bit unlucky to scratch on the break, I thought earlier, but he did miss a safety. He missed a couple safeties early. But he is another one of those players that can certainly overcome any deficit in this race to 7.
First, though, he's got to get back to the table.
All right, the cue ball's spinning up table. I think that's going to get him, so maybe our first look at Ko Pin-Yi in about 15 minutes or so. And very difficult push out with the 7 hanging up long. A 2-6 combo, very playable. Where do you out to here? It's going to roll out to a combination that I don't think Ko can afford to pass if he does go that route, that being Josh. And other than a hook here, I don't think he can afford to pass it. You have to be willing to take it away from this young man. Yeah, when the balls are hanging like this, it's for a lot of different offensive shots. Yeah, I don't know what I would do here. This is difficult.
Push out, Paul. Extension, please.
Well, that's unfortunate for Josh, even though he doesn't waste much time, but I don't think Coach should waste much time with a decision here, and I don't think he will. He's shooting. Is there a cross-corner bank available also? Oh, yeah, there certainly is, and I think he's supposed to shoot at the combo. He can catch first, ball first. The way it lays in this angle, he doesn't have to hit it perfect. Again, the key to this shot, a lot of people say he'll hit it easier, but not me. You're not going to blast it, but go ahead and be aggressive. Make sure you make a fairly full stroke here. One of the few ways he could contact the 6 and not make it in the corner. Now, Josh has got to watch out. It looks like the 2 is going to come back into the 6. Into the cue ball, excuse me. And you just never know what's going to happen in that situation. I think he's come away okay, though.
Yeah, took a quick peek and then straight up. That always tells you they're happy. There's a route through.
Yeah, you'll notice on that combination as well, Josh, pretty smart player, such a smart player for 4, but he hit it with top English, knowing the double kiss, and that would slow the cue ball down.
Looking rather pessimistic, isn't it, for Ko Pin-Yi?
Yeah, I'd like to see him shoot that combo with a little more speed, but that's just, it's not like he hit it bad or anything. It's just a tough shot.
Took his extension on the push out, did Josh Filler, so having to hurry up. But he had enough time to drive another no.
Joshua Filler to break, leading 6 racks to 3.
Filler on the hill, breaking. And breaking brilliantly.
Yeah, anytime you're making the one on the side, you're depending on a little bit of fortune because everything is racked randomly, right? So you really can't eat on something as far as another object ball, but when you play well, you know how that works, Phil. Good things happen. He's upset he overhit this a little, but he's okay. A little draw stroke. He would have rather had a natural one-rail angle over behind the 4, but he came long enough to where he can just straight draw the ball.
Between racks while you were away, Kopin took a comfort break. As he came back into the arena, he was met by his younger brother, Kopin Chungu. No doubt offered some words of encouragement and advice. Looks like as though those words of advice won't be put into action, won't have the opportunity to get back to the table, because Filler is a killer. He has the killer instinct in this kind of situation.
I don't know if he catches the second rail here, the long rail, or not. He may just pull this ball and get nice and tidy close to the 8 with just a little bit of an angle. Can come to the second rail if he wants. Came below it. So many options for this talented 24-year-old. And this is the one thing that has gotten him a couple times, is speed control, so he's just got to pay attention. 3 rails around the 9 probably. And speed is perfect there.
Extension, please.
The dejection of defeat by Shane Van Boening in the semi-finals of this tournament last year is about to be forgotten.
Josh
continues to be the boss. Can anyone stop fabulous Filler? He's arrived in his first ever Whirlpool Masters final in stunning fashion. He has won 21 racks in total and lost only 3. In that match, he won 7 on the trot to dash the hopes, the dreams of Ko Pin-Yi. Oh, brother, your title ambitions are over.